The sexual assault allegations that have plagued Russell Brand are making headlines once again. The comedian and Get Him to the Greek actor who became known for his risque stand-up routines and his brief marriage to pop superstar Katy Perry could now face potential sexual assault charges, as prosecutors are considering charging the actor and comedian. Brand was under investigation by police after multiple women came forward. In a statement, the Crown Prosecution Service wrote, "We have been passed a file by the police to consider a charging decision in this case. Any decision to charge is made independently, based on the evidence and in line with our legal test." Detectives from London's Metropolitan Police Force have reportedly interviewed Brand 3 times over the allegations, which officials say date back to at least a decade ago. The alleged sexual assaults happened between 2006 and 2013. At the height of Brand's career, when he appeared in movies such as Forgetting Sarah Marshall and was a presenter on BBC Radio. But years later, everything changed when 4 women came forward last year accusing the 49-year-old actor of rape, sexual assault, and emotional abuse. Their claims were published after a joint investigation was conducted by the UK newspaper The Times, and the allegations are nothing short of horrifying. One woman claimed Brand assaulted her when she was just 16 years old. Going by the name Alice, she described a short-lived relationship with the then 30-year-old Brand that lasted for about 3 months. Back in 2006, the actor, who was becoming a household name during that time as a BBC radio host, allegedly approached the teen while she was out shopping and asked her to go on a date with him. She claimed she went and told her mother of the encounter, and her mother advised her to reveal her age in the hopes of deterring him, but it didn't. Because the legal age of consent in the UK is 16, her mother reportedly chose not to intervene further. The two then began dating shortly after in what she says began as a pleasant relationship, but things began to sour. She claimed weeks later Brand began coaching her on what to say to her parents when he wanted to see her, and that he would even give her scripts on how to lie to them. Brand allegedly sent a car to her school once to take her out of classes and to his house. She even said he told her to put the fake name Carly into her phone to deceive her parents. It was toward the end of their relationship when she alleges the actor sexually assaulted her. She describes during one visit to his house, Brand physically forced her to perform oral sex on him, making her choke. She said she tried to fight him off of her, but he had her pinned down, trapped beneath him. She says she broke up with him shortly after. Then a second woman described being sexually assaulted by Brand during their 6-month relationship back in 2007. The woman, who goes by J.P. Martin, described the alleged sexual assault in her book, Not Entanglement with a Celebrity. She claimed she was assaulted over the course of their relationship when the two were staying at the Lowry Hotel. She said Brand had become angry with her when he found out she had spoken to an ex-boyfriend, even snatching her phone from her and ripping off the case. She said while she was standing at the sink in the room, Brand quietly came up behind her and touched her inappropriately. Martin published the book in 2014, and Brand has denied all the allegations from the Times. Following the 2007 incident, Brand then moved to Los Angeles to focus on his rising Hollywood career and a new American TV show, and this is where he would meet his third alleged victim. There's a lot of disturbing allegations in this story, and so many more like it that we cover here at Law and Crime. And part of the reason we're able to keep bringing you this story, plus so much more like it, is because of our amazing sponsors like Upside. So thank you, Upside, for sponsoring this story. If you're wondering what's Upside, well, it's a free app that gets you cash back on daily essentials like gas, groceries, and restaurants. Sometimes I only have time for a quick lunch break, but then there are times I can have a sit down at a nice restaurant, and I can use Upside for both. Plus, I can use Upside to get cash back when I do. It's so easy and simple to use and completely free, so why not? And it's actual real cash back too. It's money that appears in your Upside app that you can transfer straight into your bank account. Here's what you do. You download the Upside app, claim an offer for whatever you're buying on Upside. You pay as usual using a debit or a credit card and follow the steps on the app to get paid. You can use Upside at places like Chipotle, 7-Eleven, Taco Bell, and so many other places. So why not check it out and see if your favorite spot is on the app? To find out how much you could earn, click the link in the description to download Upside, or scan the QR code on your screen, use our promo code LCNews, and get an extra 25 cents back on every gallon on your first tank of gas. Again, that's promo code LCNews for an extra 25 cents back on your first gallon of gas. The woman, going by the name Nadia, said the two met at a party back in 2012, and she described one violent encounter with the actor when she visited him at his home. She claimed Brand tried to coerce her into having sex with another friend of his, and she refused. She claimed she tried to back away from him toward the wall. She said her bag became stuck underneath the painting, and this is when she claims he cornered her against the wall and raped her. She managed to escape by telling him she needed to use the bathroom, where she says she then ran through the front door and into the car to drive away. She confronted Brand after and texted him, "When a girl says no, it means no." Brand allegedly replied saying he was very sorry. But after the alleged assault, Brand continued to build his career in the US and then met a woman who refers to herself as Phoebe. Phoebe recalled meeting the actor at an Alcoholics Anonymous before they started working together. She claims the two had a brief sexual relationship, but things changed in 2013. Phoebe recalled working with Brand at his home when she realized another member of his staff had left, leaving the two of them alone. She said at some point Brand chased her and pinned her down in his bedroom. She claims she begged him to stop and even screamed. She said that Brand did not rape her, but did believe that he touched her inappropriately. After, she told friends what had happened, and Brand allegedly threatened her with legal action if she reported him, so she didn't. In response to the allegations, Brand took to his YouTube channel to deny any wrongdoing. He said, "Amidst this litany of astonishing, rather baroque attacks are some very serious allegations that I absolutely refute." He added that his relationships have always been consensual. Brand has largely disappeared from mainstream media in recent years, but despite the allegations, he continues to maintain a large following on his YouTube channel. But now, as British prosecutors are weighing whether or not to charge the comedian, officials say the investigation is still ongoing. In a statement, Detective Superintendent Andy Furfy wrote, quote, "We have a team of dedicated officers providing specialist support to the women who have come forward. We are committed to investigating sexual offenses no matter how long ago they are alleged to have taken place." So a lot to unpack here. So let's bring on attorney Krista Ramey to break this down further. Krista, it's always great to see you. In your opinion, do you think we could see criminal charges against actor/comedian Russell Brand?
So, not knowing too much about the UK criminal justice system, of course, being an attorney here in the States, I think so. I think that there is a reckoning that just has kind of continuously happened since 2018 and the beginning of the Me Too movement, where these allegations are just taken a lot more seriously than they were in the past. I think before, particularly with celebrities, people thought, oh, maybe there's some motive behind it, or it really wasn't a lot of looking at and trusting victims or hearing victims. And I think now that tide has shifted. And so it sounds from everything that I've read that these are being looked at very seriously, these allegations. There's three women, very different, allegations, one rape, and then the others are sexual assault, but very serious allegations. And I think that, you know, rightly so, they're being taken seriously.
And these claims date all the way back to 2006. Now, say if criminal charges are brought against Brand, how difficult could it be to prosecute the case, given many of the women didn't report the alleged assaults at the time?
So all of these cases are very difficult, and I represent a lot of survivors, and I know that when you're looking at the decision to come forward is a huge one in and of itself. But a lot of times women do confide in others around them in the immediate aftermath of what happened. So there usually is some evidence that this had happened. So whether it's a trusted friend or therapist, most likely you'll see that oftentimes. You'll also see survivors saving, text messages or some kind of evidence about it, so they know themselves that they're not going crazy, that this really did happen. So people do tend to have some kind of footprint, that will be able to corroborate what their allegations are.
So, given that the laws are a lot different in the UK versus the United States, I think one in particular was very intriguing to me, and that was the 16-year-old who allegedly had a full blown relationship with Brand when he was 30 and she was 16. Now, the laws in the UK are a lot different, and according to what she says, the age of consent is 16 years old. But do you see any type of criminality, even though they were meeting the age of consent, even and he had a relationship with a 16-year-old?
I mean, if the age of consent in the UK is in fact 16, there's probably not anything criminal about it if it was in fact consensual. Whether that's true or not is one thing. The public opinion and what that does, what kind of backlash he may get, is another. Now, Russell Brand is going down a path with his career that he's going down, and I don't know that it like influencer phase that he's in. Anti-vaxxer, Joe Rogan Betty, so I guess his reputation could be damaged more than he's already done it to himself. But I don't think that helps. I don't know that. it's necessarily going to be criminal unless there was actually non-consensual components to that relationship, however.
And Brand actually wrote a memoir detailing a addiction that he admits threatened to ruin his career and that he had to go to rehab for it. Do you think that admission is significant at any point as police continue to look into the allegations that these women are coming forward with?
I think if anything, it helps these women. When celebrities, we saw this with a lot of celebrities, in recent years, and even icons like Tiger Woods had that problem, right, with the sex addiction. But what it does with the sexual assault component is that these men, arguably, if I was the attorney handling it, don't have that self control. They don't have that voice in their head that says, wait, does she really want this? Or am I just the man that's the celebrity saying, I can take whatever I want because I'm Russell Brand, I have a big name, women want me, whatever. And so I think that it does, in fact, help these women in their allegations because it shows that he has this purient nature, this deviant side to him, where he, likes, sex, obviously, but also is addicted to it and probably different components of it, and particularly like the promiscuity, the dangerous aspects of things, like when he was married, how often did he cheat on Katy Perry, for instance. So I think that this all really kind of stacks up against him that he has admitted to this so publicly.
And do you think it's possible Brand could be charged even in the US given one of the alleged assaults happened in Los Angeles?
So, absolutely, if a crime happened in the US on US soil, then that person, whether or not they are, a British national or somewhere else, they will do the time here in the US if convicted. Now, a lot depends upon what happened here, what can be proven here, and if the district attorney makes a filing decision. Most likely, something like this would not be done by an information where there would be a preliminary hearing. Most likely, it would be done by a grand jury and presenting evidence to a grand jury just to make it more solid. But UK, we've got reciprocal, extradition, right, agreements with them. You can't hide from that. If you commit a crime, particularly a sexual assault, in this country, in Los Angeles, then yes, you can be convicted here, tried and convicted here.
And just playing to the other side of this, Russell Brand has denied all the allegations against him, but say, for instance, criminal charges are brought against him, but in the UK, beyond that these acts were quote unquote consensual, what other defenses does Russell Brand really have kind of working for him in these matters?
Well, I mean, that's really it, right? It's that, or that I didn't do it. But he's already said publicly that these women's claims were all acts of consensual, encounters, whether it was the rape. So he's saying that that was consensual sex, and any of the sexual assaults, he's saying that those were just, all consensual conduct on both sides' part. So he's already publicly made that stand. So he can't say it wasn't me or I didn't do it. Or maybe he can say, I guess, part of it he didn't do. So it's going to be tough for him with any other defense other than this was consensual. And that is more and more difficult to prove when you admit that you actually did it. So, particularly if you have this other evidence that we were talking about earlier with women making these, confessions in confidence to friends or to therapists where they've kind of worked through what happened to them. So, he's going to have a tough time with that for sure.
And as someone who has spoken with a number of survivors, what is it like for them? Because I think when these cases are brought about and we cover these types of stories, a lot of the questions is always like, why do they wait so long to report this? But in having conversations with survivors and your expertise, what do they say about these naysayers in a way who are like, well, why'd you wait so long to report this if this happened in so called 2006? What are you hearing from them?
I think that, and thank you for this question because it's survivor focused and it's trauma informed. And a sexual assault is a trauma. It's no different than any other kind of trauma that a person experiences. And in some cases, it's much more because it's such a personal trauma and an assault on one's body, a taking of something that's so personal. And until recently, these claims were looked at like, what do you want with this celebrity? Do you want money? There's some kind of motive behind you actually making these allegations. We saw this when allegations were made against Michael Jackson, against Kobe Bryant, against all sorts of celebrities prior to the Me Too movement. So you have that, but you also have this amount of shame and guilt that people have when they are sexually assaulted or physically abused. They think, did I do something wrong? Did I put myself in a position to have this happen to me? Or, will I get blamed in some way for what happened? Was this my fault? You know, People still ask questions about, what were they wearing? What did they say or do? And so these are all really shaming a survivor. And the survivor knows that this happens, and they have to work through their trauma before they can speak about it. And for some people, they never can speak about it. For others, it just takes a lot of time, a lot of healing before they can talk about it. And they need to be able to talk about it on their own terms. That's why a lot of these cases, you see that they're filed with DOE plaintiffs, where you don't know the name of the woman that is, or man, that are making the allegations. That's because they don't want the world to know what happened to them. Now, in a lawsuit, those names are exchanged. The defendant knows who they are. We just don't get to know. And so sometimes the courts say that amount of privacy is necessary in order to actually have due process and a just process happen.
And you brought up a great point at the beginning of our conversation, our interview, that it does seem like prosecutors are taking sexual assault claims a lot more seriously, not just here in the United States, but obviously we're seeing over in the UK as well too. And we've seen these powerful figures like the ones you had mentioned, as well as Diddy and now Russell Brand, kind of have to pay up in a way, or at least answer to these claims. In your opinion, what type of message does it send to women and even men that whatever may have happened to them even in the past, is being taken seriously?
Well, I remember one of the messages, as a part of the Me Too movement, was time's up, right? So your time is up. If you've done this, then your time is up. This is your day of reckoning. So, when you have this whole history of all of these things happening, and you've had a collection of people around you protecting you from any fallout because you are so powerful, women now know that time is up. Those people are no longer going to protect them. You really see this with P. Diddy. All of those, people that he surrounded himself with in the past, where are they now? They're completely silent. They're not standing up for him. They are not protecting him. And so I think that people are now realizing that there's this day of reckoning. And you even see this in like the Menendez case, which is in the news now, where we're going back and looking at this old case, and how these men, when they were boys, what they went through, and should that have actually been allowed to be put forward as a defense in their trial against for murdering their parents. And so you're seeing that their claims are being taken a lot more seriously now. And then they were not taken seriously at all. It was, thought to be a big lie, and it was all about inheriting their parents' wealth. So you do see the sea change of attitude about sexual abuse and sexual molestation, and when and where it happens. And I think that it is very victim focused, survivor focused, and I'm here for it because it's about time.
Right. And I guess we'll kind of have to see how this all continues to play out. Krista, I want to thank you so much for your time today. But before we sign you off, anything else you'd like to add about this case?
No, I mean, I'm interested in hearing more about it and seeing how the laws are different, in the UK, and how this plays out there. But I will definitely be following the story.
Okay, Krista Ramey, again, thank you so much for your time today. Always appreciated.
Thanks.
Russell Brand has previously denied all the allegations against him, and at this time, he has not been formally charged with any crimes. But officials say their investigation is still ongoing. Reporting for Law and Crime, I'm Elizabeth Millner.